So from the previous global talent video that I made on my YouTube channel, and then I shared it across TikTok and Instagram, a lot of questions came through on what evidences they can submit, what year of experience do you need before you can apply for global talent, and also how do you write your evidence. So how do you write the documents that you submit? In this video, I'm going to go through everything that I just talked about, and we're going to see firsthand how you put together a solid document that you can submit for your technician application or your global talent application. And this video is going to be a fictional video, so anything I say or any representation I make in this video is not real. It's just something I made up so that you can understand the process, and then you can adapt that to your own situation, and then be able to apply for your technician and be on your way to the United Kingdom. Without saying so much, subscribe to the channel, like this video, share with others, and let's get started. Quick one, guys. So this video is actually sponsored by Revisa. So Revisa is a platform that helps you review your technician application or your global talent application in technology. You submit your document, their experts have a review of this document, and they tell you where to improve. And if you have no understanding of where to start, you can let them know, and you can easily book a consultation with them, and they'll be happy to jump on call to help you figure out how to get started with global talent and submit a wonderful application. So back to the video. I'm sharing my screen right now, and one thing I want you to know is that the Global Talent Guide is the single source of truth where you can find all the information that you need. So that's where I am right now, and we're going to take a look at how I'm going to extract information from this guide and then use it in my application or the fictional application that I talked about. But before that, let me talk about what year of experience that you need to apply. Let's create two buckets. The first bucket is early career, and then the second bucket is late career. For early career, you have 1 year of experience maximum. For late career or mid-level and late career, you have 2 years and above. So if you find yourself in this bucket, I'd advise you not to apply. You are just not ready yet. You need time to gather your evidences, and you just don't have these evidences. Your career, you've not done enough within 1 year to be able to apply. Truth be told, let's be honest. So if you find yourself in this second bucket, you can apply, and you have a great chances of getting this global talent endorsement or global talent visa, because you have a lot of experience, and then you can gather evidences and you can talk more about things you've done in your career. You just have the time and you've done a lot. So, and if you feel like you find yourself in this bucket and you've not done enough and you feel like you're not ready, and also if you're in this bucket as well, you can work your way to it. So what I always tell people is that be patient, create a 2-year plan for yourself, strategically work towards these goals, and then be able to apply whenever you're ready. I did the same. I didn't just apply when I heard about the visa. I heard about the visa 2020. Although I was in the right place to apply, I just felt deep down within me that I need time to put together my application, and then I created the plan of everything I want get done before I put my application forward. And by the grace of God, everything came to fruition. Before we talk about the evidences, what are the people that can apply? On my screen right now, I have examples of technical skills that can apply, and then I have examples of business skills that can apply. So take a look at this example. If you find yourself here, you can apply. If you find yourself in the technical side, meaning you have coding skills, UI UX designer, product developer, game developer, system engineer, hardware engineer, cybersecurity experts, AI machine learning, the list goes on. Just take a look at the list and feel free. You can even send them an email just to confirm if you find yourself within this category, so you know you can apply. And also examples of business skills. Take a look at it. You're a business owner, you have a fintech, you work as sales expert, you have marketing, performance marketing expert, digital analytics. The list is numerous. So take a look at this example and then apply that to your domain and your experience and see if you can apply. But one thing though, if you find yourself here, you just can't apply because you are working with a service company or an agency or an outsourcing firm. It's really not what they look for. They look for people that have experience with product-led companies. So make sure your company is product-led company before applying. That said, let's get to the reason why we're here. putting together evidences. So that means you are now eligible to apply. Like I said in my previous video, I talked about the fact that there are 2 compulsory evidences. There's the leadership one. So let's start with the leadership one. So let's take a look at on my screen right now. I'm trying to find the example of the leadership criteria. So there's this long list of examples of things you can submit here. Examples of evidences or examples of evidence. Great. This is what you should focus on whenever you're applying. This is it. This is just where you find all the information that you need. So let's go through the mandatory criteria. If you read, how do I demonstrate that I have been recognized as a leading talent in the digital sector in the last 5 years? So in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, the link is up here. But in my previous video, I talked about 2 categories. The 3 years, which is the exceptional leader, and then the 5 years, which is the exceptional promise. This actually work for both division, both leader and promise, right? Or talent and promise. It works well for them. And they have this mandatory criteria that they have to submit. So let's go through the mandatory criteria together. If I was putting an application together, how would I do it? Let's say I'm a software engineer and I work as a software engineer in a tech company, right? So I'm on this canvas and let's put together my document. I'm a software engineer, right? So I'm a software engineer. And then I have to submit 2 important documents. So the first one is, let me create this arrow, right? The first one is the compulsory, right? And then the other is the optional. The compulsory that we're starting with actually is the leadership one, which is the one I've just read right now. This one, that's the mandatory criteria. And then they have a lot of examples. So if you read it very well, it's a lot, and I recommend that you read it. But we're just going to pick out points and then I'll use it in my application. You led growth of a product-led digital company, product team inside digital technology company, as evidenced by reference letter from leading industry expert describing your work, or as evidenced by news clippings, lines of code from public repository, or similar evidence. So I'm going to pick this evidence because I feel I can submit that. And then I'll take a look at outside normal day-to-day role, because let's say I'm a mentor with some government organization and I help students in Africa learn how to code. I teach over 1,000 students how to write code. Let's say I do that as mentorship. I'm going to pick that line. And then let's take a look at something else. You have evidence of speaking, high profile, right? Let's say I spoke at a conference. I'm going to pick this evidence. You command high salary. So command high salary. Salary, I always recommend people not to rely on it so much unless you earn so high. And I'll give you an example. Say I live in Nigeria, because I was in Nigeria before I moved to the United Kingdom. And then I earn in dollars, which is above the average salary of what a typical software engineer would earn normally in Nigeria. I would definitely use this because that means I command high salary, right? So let's use that as evidence. So I'll then go back to my sheet, and then remember that we said we're going to make use of the first one. So line of code. So I'll say my evidence is screenshot of GitHub code. So this is my first evidence. And then my second evidence that I'm going to use is going to be salary proof or explanation. The third evidence I'm going to use is going to be speaking at Africa conference. With this evidence, let's say 3 evidence, I'm good, because take notes. The requirement you need is that under each bucket of evidence, the minimum you can provide is 1. So you can provide just 1 and you're good. You can provide 2, 3, 4, as long as you're pleased. So let's work with 3, right? So how am I going to describe all this evidence that I have? How am I going to describe them? Let's create a document, a blank document. So let me say this is the blank document. The first one is GitHub code. So I'm going to say, as my role is going to be the heading of the document, software engineering at ABC startup. Right here, the first paragraph right here some gibberish, right? They're just going to write something. So the first paragraph you're going to write is you're going to describe your role at ABC startup. That's what you're going to do, right? And then you're going to tell them why it is important. That's the next thing you do. So with this, you've set the standard, or you've set the story that your role at ABC startup is super important and is crucial. And then you tell them you've been working there for like 2-3 years, for whatever, the amount of experience you have, you tell them right there. Boom. So then the next one is going to be a screenshot of your GitHub repository. So you're going to have screenshot of your repo, right? And also understand that some companies don't give you ability to have screenshot of repository. What you do in that case, if you don't have access to your screenshot or your GitHub repository, what you do is that you can get a letter from your manager describing how important your work is, your impact, everything, and then you can use it in place of screenshot or other proof. You write these documents as usual and you put all your story, everything you've done, the code you've written, your stack, why you're so important, your impact. Please, it's very important. Focus on impact. It's really, really important. And I'll tell you how to do it. So think about this trend on Twitter, how it started versus how it's going, or how it started versus how it went. That's just it. How it was when you got there or before you start versus what it is when you left or the current stage. So let's say when you joined, they had 0 users and they had no product. But right now they have 10 users and they have a big mobile application that is downloadable on iOS and App Store, and you led that, or you had a great impact on that. Talk about it. Also, if you're a designer, talk about your impact like that before you joined. Let's say they don't have any design screens versus when you joined and they have a lot of design screens. So remember that this example, feel free to use it for your own case. Feel free to use it for something that works for you. So that's it. Let's continue. So, and then you just end it with some really nice ending paragraph on why your skills are important. Why your skills are important or will be important in the UK. That's it. You have one document, and understand that the maximum you can go is 3 pages. A lot of people don't understand how to put together their document. This is a nice template that you can use. So everything you are writing in this document can go as long as 3 pages. You can have multiple screenshots in there. You can have video links in there. You can have document attached, but just make sure that the document you're attaching is not private. Please confirm. Don't attach a private document so that they'll not click on it and then they will have to ask you for access. Don't do that. Test every document. Text with incognito mode is super important, please. So the maximum is 3 pages. That's it. And then you'd have your second proof, which is the salary one. The same thing goes. Just tell them in short paragraph why you're earning that amount, what you're doing at the company, and then screenshot of payslip, screenshot of salary dashboard or contract. Yes. So one thing I did at the time was that I uploaded my contract to my my Google Drive, and then I made the link public. If you have the link, you can open it, and then I attached it somewhere, and then I had a screenshot of stocks or grants that you have at your startup or anything. If your startup give you grant, you can add it as well. Or then if you have that salary dashboard, and also I had some savings in my salary dashboard, I screenshotted everything, and then I explained how much I've earned in the time that I've been working with them and everything. That will go into salary proof. And then this can be 1 page, 2 page, but don't forget maximum of 3 pages. And then speaking at Africa conference, if you are not speaking mentor, you can use that. So another document you can use here is mentorship. See the list of document examples that you have right now. So what I advise you to do is come here, consume it, read every line, digest it, and see how you can fine tune it to fit your story. So we're done with the first evidence. which is the mandatory one, is the compulsory one. It's compulsory for both talent. It's also compulsory for promise, because it enables you to show extraordinary ability and also international recognition. If they're giving you an award, put it there. If you have GitHub stars, Google Developer Expert, put it there. We are done with the first criteria. So the optional criteria right now is you have 4 options. We have innovation, we have recognition, and then we have let me grab this arrow. We have significant impact, and then we have research. So we need to pick 2 from this optional side. Usually what I tell people to do is pick recognition and pick the significant impact, because innovation is very subjective to prove. You can think of something that is innovative to you, but whereas to them it's not innovative. And also, you can easily talk about the fact that you are being recognized for something, and then you can also talk about something that is significant, impactful to wherever you are working. But research, maybe if you're in that line, maybe you're a researcher, you have PhD, you can use it. But I don't have, like, the last paper I wrote was in my after my undergraduate, and that was it. I presented at the conference, that was it. So recognition, right? Examples of what I can use as recognition. So let's go back to the Holy Grail. So let's take a look at the recognition. How do I demonstrate that I've been recognized for my work outside of my immediate occupation that contributed to the advancement of the sector? Please, it is very important that you are recognized for work outside of your immediate occupation. You have to be careful right here. So let's take a look at it. Evidence of open source project, GitHub profile demonstrating active participation, Stack Overflow, conference, news clippings, mentorship. So what I'm going to go is I'm going to go back to this recognition, and I'm going to talk about the amount of the document I can have right here. So I can have just maybe one conference. I spoke at the conference. I got awards and accolades, right? And then I have a letter from my boss talking about my impact outside of work, right? So you can use something like this. So let's say this is it. I'm actually just going to limit this to 2. So wherever, you can use what you think, but let's talk about this. The same style goes for putting together this document. You can tell us about the conference you have, significant impact. The same way you have this document, that's how you write the document for each and every one of them. I love this format. Always use the star approach. Always use that star approach. Describe the situation. Describe why you are the person for that situation, which is the task. Describe your approach, which in this case is your impact, because they care about the impact, not what you've done. Please, it's important the way you think about this thing. And then the results. Star approach. Have your document. Star approach. Take a look at this one. This is the situation. This part is the approach, which is the task. STAR. So let me write it here. STAR. Important. Star approach. Star approach. Please. Right? So use the star approach to put together your document, and that's it. So put together the document right here. You can tell us about the award, why you were given the award, what the result of the award is, blah blah blah. It's storytelling. It's all about storytelling. Write the document. And if you need any help, send me a personal message. Outside of this, we can talk about how I can help you. Let's talk about significant impact. So significant impact, I'm just going to have 1. I'm going to say thought leadership through content. So, and what I'm going to talk about here is my YouTube channel, the blog post I wrote, the tutorial I wrote, the course I created, people that I taught, physical, maybe I went to teach some students, physical settings. I can talk about that using again the similar approach. And then I can have another one right here. Organized local meetup. Organized local meetup is super, like, this is also another example you can use. Again, you have proof, screenshot, describe what it is, I'll give us proof, screenshot links, video, whatever, just put it out there. Metrics, right? all those dashboards that have graphs of numbers, you can use them. So now at the end of the day, I have how many documents right here? I have 4. Let me grab this. I have 4 here, and then I have 3 documents here, and then we have 2. So 4 plus 3 plus 2, that's 9 documents. That's perfect. You now have to make sure that each one of these documents is no more than 3 pages. And let's say the documents we have right here, they are all 3 pages. So that means 4 times 3, that's 12. 3 times 3, that's 9, and then 2 times 3, that's 6. So you have 27 pages in total of all the evidences that you are going to submit. So this is it. This is how you write your document. This is how you prepare your evidence. This is how you tell your story. And the next thing that is important, the other 2 things that are important rather, are personal statement and then recommendation. For recommendation, you need 3. Let's go back to the Holy Grail. For personal statement, take a look at how they ask you to describe your personal statement right here. This is what you need to cover in your personal statement. The way I always advise people to go about that is that tell us why you actually decided to get into tech, and tell us what you've done, your application, like information they can't find in your resume or your CV, and then connect that to what you're going to do in the UK. And that's it. You have a solid personal statement. Have people review it though. You can have me review it, but you are going to have to pay for my time. The next thing is your letter of recommendations, and 3 letter of recommendation. Each letter must be typed, signed by an author, and so those are the extra things I would like to cover. But this truly is the holy grail of you preparing your documentation or your evidence. Thank you for watching. This video is actually a bit long, but I just wanted to explain in detail because a lot of people have asked me to explain to them the process of applying, putting together the evidences. And if you're a designer, or if you are someone else, like if you're a software tester, if you're a business person, I will just find how to replace each of these things with something that works for me, and then go back to the example. And that's it, you're done. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section. My name is Blessing. Peace out.